Hello everyone, it's David Hayden out and about. Today we're up at Rustic, Colorado, about to take off on the Roaring Creek Trail. This is a trail that I've been wanting to do for quite some time. It climbs pretty steeply for the first mile, it says, and then after that it levels out and opens up to some beautiful scenery. Yeah, this trail's a little rugged, very rocky. That right there is the Poudre Canyon Highway, one of Colorado's most scenic byways. Not far into the trail, this is some of the scenery. I just love it up here. Me and Bandit have a lot of fun every time we come. Old Bandit, best hiking buddy I've ever had. He never complains about where we go. And here is the first view of Roaring Creek. You ready to carry on? Let's do it. I set my gear down for a few minutes. We just hit several switchbacks. I don't do too well on those things, so it's time to take a break. But what a spot to take a break in. The views from here are just incredible. And I seen coming up the trail behind me about 3 or 4 other people wearing backpacks come to spend the night on Roaring Creek Trail. Looks like I wasn't the only one that come up with this idea. Yep, they'll be coming this way in just a few minutes, Bandit. They're doing the switchbacks right now. Today is September 11th. The leaves are starting to change colors. Fall is in the air. Very different terrain here. Still making those switchbacks, got me winded. Bandit and I found a really cool tree right on the trail. That is the perfect place to take a break. I know this camera probably doesn't show it in perspective very well, but this is one huge tree. And as I say, it's a great place to pull off the pack and take a break. This is that same tree, that really big tree. Wowzers. Well, we've just crested the top of a ridge, or at least a little hill. And now the trail goes downhill. Bandit and I have scouted this out once before. And I think this is where it rejoined the creek. We kind of lost it a little ways along the way. But if I remember correctly, just at the bottom of this hill, this very steep hill. We rejoin the creek and then follow it for a ways. We never did complete the whole trail, so this is very similar to many of our other adventures. We started it, but never finished it. That's what this trip is all about. We're here to complete the trail. There's a lot of downed trees in this area. I don't know if that's from the mountain pine beetle or what causes that, but I was right about one thing though. There's the creek. The trail is about to rejoin and then follow the creek. Can't wait to get a better, or not better, but closer shot of it. Okay, continuing on down the trail, we got past all them downed and dead trees. Sure is nice to get back into a live forest again. It just has a better feel to it. Plus, setting up a camp around a bunch of dead trees ain't a good idea. One of them fall on you during the night, it could put an end to a good time real quick. Okay, checking out the GPS and the map. We're at 40 degrees, 44.0 north. That's this line. 105, 45.6. Oh, this is 45.6. Would put us right about there. Right where the trail joins the creek. And sure enough, we just passed a little spot that looks like it. My rough estimation, this is also about the halfway point. So this is where I'm going to start scouting around and seeing if we can find us a campsite, because we have access to some fantastic water here. So yep, I think this is going to be home for the night. Okay, beyond a shadow of a doubt, this is probably the the most rugged of rugged campsites that Bandit and I have ever chosen. I hope to string my hammock from this tree to this tree. So my hammock will be here. Bandit's tent probably over there where I just dropped my backpack. We're at least 200 feet away from the water. That's what the regulations require. But the water is just over there. And it's very easy to get to. And we're still at about that halfway point. That's about where I wanted to be. So this is it, folks. This is home for tonight. Okay, well, we have the camp set up. I have to show you that in just a minute, or when we get back, rather. Bandit gets very bored just sitting around. So after I had everything all set up and ready to go for the night, I decided, all right, Let me take him for a little stroll a little further up the trail. This trail is only 5.1 miles, it says. So since we stopped at about the halfway point, we only have another 2.5 to go. But that would be the equivalent of 5 miles round trip to get back to the camp. So I don't think we're going to do that this evening. We only have about 2 hours of daylight left. So we're just doing a little preliminary exploring. We're going to turn around here in a little bit and head back. Hey, where you going? Yeah, Bandit and I just got off of the trail. We saw this little low-lying land, whatever, that runs right next to the creek. So we made our own little trail down to it. Very peaceful. I don't know if it's going to show up on this camera very well or not, but there is a yellow and white tent over there. Bandit and I just went up the trail just a little ways. I was going to go to longitude 105.46. We were at 105.45.991 and come across this family that's out here camping. Just like we are. So we didn't want to press on and interfere with what they got going on. So we just turned around and now we're headed back to camp. When we get there, I'll show it to you. Well, I don't think it's quite time for sunset yet. It's only 5:45, but the sun is just barely over the top of that mountain over there. It will disappear behind the mountain before long. So I think it might be a good thing that we're headed back to the camp now anyway. Besides that, I bought some new protein bars that I'm dying to try out. Let's go eat us a snack, Bandit. Okay, as discussed earlier, here's the camp setup. My hammock fit perfectly in between those two trees I pointed out earlier. So I got the underquilt going and the bug screen. Well, again, I'm not going to go with the tarp because I don't think it's going to rain. Handy dandy night light nearby. Bandit's tent. And I've already fed him a little food. Gonna have to give him some more. But I'm trying out something for the first time. That's my hat. Not that. This. We had this little mini hammock. It's just a cord kind of thing. I found out it does better if you hold it apart with, or hold it open rather, with some sticks. But instead of hanging my pack up in a tree with a rope, I decided to suspend it in the air in this mini hammock. It's very lightweight, doesn't take hardly anything to carry. So we're going to try that out one time and see what happens. Now it's time for that snack. Candy bar, meat stick. It's on like ham bone. Good morning, everyone. David Hayden here. 7:25 in the morning. Got everything packed up except for Bandit's coat. He got a little cold during the night. But we're about to go refill our water bottles and hit this trail and knock out the rest of it. We're just gonna leave the backpack here and pick it up on the way back. Okay, so we've just passed the yellow and white tent people's campsite. So now we're pressing on into new territory, for me and Bandit anyway. Into the trail, here we come. Let's go do it, Bandit. Just seen some poop of some kind on the trail that was full of berries. I can only assume that's bear scat. So even if I don't see a bear, I have seen some of a bear. Okay, a little clearing through the trees. You can see a boulder field over here, or what appears to be one, and a rocky mountain. I just made another discovery. Tried to check my position on my map with the GPS, and it failed to start. Did that to me on our Twin Lakes 2.5 hike too. I thought then it was just malfunctioning. I replaced the batteries and then it went to working again. Of course, I was at home when I did that. Now we're back out in the woods and it's, oh, I don't know, in the low 40s, I guess. And it's doing the same thing. So now I can only guess that my GPS doesn't work in cold weather. That's not good for a guy that lives in Colorado. This section is full of rocks, but at least the trail is discernible. You can tell where it's at. Over in the distance, you can see the sun coming. Of course, it's coming from that way, so it's got to come up over that rocky mountain. So it may still be a while before it hits us, but at least we know it's on its way. This could be a potential camp spot for tent campers. Boy, am I glad we don't do that anymore. This trail has not provided a whole lot of opportunity for that. Got us a little mud hole crossing here. Yeah, Bandit, I know you won't believe it, but this is what we come to do. Got some more rocks over here, another big hill, and continuing on, the trail once again runs right by Roaring Creek. There's a good shot of it. You know, they say a picture is worth 1,000 words. So you would think a video would be worth 1,000,000,000 words. But I just can't find the words to describe what I'm actually seeing. The camera's just not going to do it justice. Okay, we just came uphill a little bit into this grassy area. Very good place for tent campers. Still can't get my GPS to working, so I can't really determine how far we are on the trail. But if I was a tent camper, I would look for something in this area. Just a little ways past that clearing where I said would be a great place for tent campers, we come across this section of the Roaring Creek. The sign said it only roars really during the spring melt off of the snow from the winter time or whatever. It's really more of a whisper than a roar under normal circumstances. This must be what they're referring to. The little section we camped by, I was able to hear it all night long. And I guess in a way it was whispering to me. It was whispering, "Sweet dreams, good night." The sun's almost caught up with us, Bandit. Let's go see if we can get in some of it. Oh yes, life is good. The sun is reaching us in this area that we're on, at least. Bandit's not cold anymore. He's enjoying the heck out of that. Maybe I can get my GPS to warm up and get it to come on, determine how much further I got. This thing opens up into a big meadow right here. That is absolutely spectacular. Okay, just branching off from the meadow, the creek runs alongside of it. Looks like the trail turns and runs right back alongside the creek again. Either that or I've lost my way. Yeah, well, now I'm going to have to venture to say I've taken a wrong turn. But wow, what a great wrong turn this turned out to be. Okay, my little side jaunt there wasn't a wrong turn after all. It's just a little path worn down to go take a closer look at the water. I consulted the map. It does indicate that the trail crosses this creek and it looks like it continues on the other side. Of course, I told the REI people when I bought my new hiking boots that I didn't necessarily need waterproof boots because I don't get in water that much. Let's see if I can hobble across these rocks without falling in. Whew. All right, I made it. Okay, well, if that is the creek crossing, we are very near the end. 9:07. I made a goal to be there by 9:30 to kind of maintain my deadlines with my son picking me up this afternoon. I might just be able to make it. Okay, this is just past that creek crossing. It's like this little dirt rut in this meadow. The trail has kind of vanished, or it's very difficult to follow. I'm assuming that you have to follow this dirt rut because this is the second set of rock cairns I have spotted alongside of it. So that does indicate that this is the way. Okay, so I followed the rock cairns through the meadow and they led me to this. Let me grab my trekking pole. 2 ruts in the ground. So this has to be an old Jeep road that probably leads out to the end of the trail, the Elkhorn Baldy Road, I think it is. It's a Forest Service road that I've never been on. I don't own a 4-wheel drive, so my car probably will not get to it. There's another rock cairn. So that's a good indication that this is the way to go. I almost had my GPS available to me. It fired up for just about 3 seconds and then shut back down. But it is warming up, so maybe I'll be able to use it on the way back. But if we are almost at the end of the trail, then I haven't really needed it. This is following that double rut trail I was talking about. See these arrows pointing this way? That's the way to the end of the trail. Okay, mission accomplished, or I'm calling it so. We just followed the old Jeep road out of the woods up to this road. Now I don't exactly remember the number of the road, but there's the Forest Service road marker. The trail says it does lead to Elkhorn Baldy Road. This is a Forest Service road. This is what I'm talking about. There's no way I could come down here in my Chevy Equinox. Not without my camping gear, because I'd be spending the night for sure. But this is it. This is the moment we've been waiting for. We have reached the end of Roaring Creek Trail. It's 9:23. I'm 7 minutes ahead of schedule. All right, Bandit, we got to head back now. Let's do it.